Hello ladies and gentlemen, and yes, today is a sad day. We are going to be parting out this 85 NotchBack due to rust. It is an original V6 car, but it has been converted to a V8. It has a blue interior. It came with the car but outside the car, so if somebody were interested in the blue interior from that car, I do have it available. Front seats, quarter panel sail panels, seat belts, console, dashboard, and here's the original front bumper. This is an original four-eyed 85/86 LX style bumper with the full headlight support. So if you were interested in the bumper or possibly any other parts from this car, best thing to do would be send me an email to sales@EncoreMPW.com, or I welcome your comments at the bottom of the video. So what's unique about this car is that it's got an 8.8 rear end in it. Of course, most of us recall that the 8.8 didn't come out until 86 in the Mustang, but this 85 has one retrofitted in it. I just went through and counted the gear ratio. It's a 373 in this 8.8 rear end, and it is available on my website, EncoreMPW.com. Since the control arms are installed at this time, I don't have them listed for sale, but if you're interested in them and you're one of the first to comment, these might be yours. Grips is another name used by BBK, so assume that those are BBK upper and lower boxed polyurethane bushinged control arms. They appear to be in very good condition. Probably the strongest part of this car. As I pan around, you'll start to see the reasons why. Even though it's a notchback, and that's one of the most desired Mustangs out there, this one may be beyond someone's interest in repairing. Now, some of this is just surface flake rust, but I do want to show you some of the catastrophic stuff. You know, I'm in the business of selling parts, but of course, if a car were salvageable, that would be one more customer and one more collector Foxbody to stay on the road, which is always the intention, is to keep as many on the road as possible, but sometimes they're just too far gone, such as this one, and I think you'll agree with me. Again, you can tell me in the comments if you think I should have tried to save this one, or if I made a good decision in telling y'all that it needs to be parted out and its parts live on. I mean, the more I put my finger in here, the less I'm going to get from the scrapyard for it. There's a lot of metal coming out of here, and that's in the lower frame and torque box area. It did have full front and rear bumpers. I've sold the rear, but if someone were interested in the entire factory body molding kit, I have both for the rear quarter panels, both for the front of the quarter panels, door, fender, and fender extension. So with the way of the sun today, it's going to be a little more difficult to show this side, but just assume it's about the same condition as the passenger side. This isn't a factory color of paint. It's been painted a time or two. Looks like it was a deep, like a navy blue to begin with. The doors are soft. I'm going to lower the car here in a minute and show you some more of it from the top down, such as the 79 to 86 specific window trim, quarter panel louvers, and show you what does or does not exist in the interior. So the roof is definitely in good shape, good enough to sell, transfer to another vehicle. The quarter panels, as we are getting more and more desperate, I guess would be the best term for me to use, desperate for good body parts. This one is probably a salvageable piece to someone who really needs one. A little bit of surface and bubbling down here at the bottom, no hole. There is a hole here in the back. I know that aftermarket they sell a replacement rear corner of the quarter here, and I also sell them here at Encore. Any good metal pieces, for example. This will be a car here with a bondoed and smacked up quarter panel. that has a really nice, clean, solid lower section. So I do sell those if anybody needed one of those. As far as underneath, I think that's it. Just want to show you the trim, some of the condition of the doors. So, missing metal, it's not going to be salvageable as far as doors. Still closes real nice for being as rusty as it is, as old as it is, and being that it was a V6 car to start its life and has had a V8 into it. I'm surprised this thing's not twisted at all. I wouldn't gut a car just because of the floor pan up here. I wouldn't gut a car just because there's some bent floor sections here and there. It really was a tough decision, and there's not a lot of money to be made here in parts, but this car is just, it's pretty darn far gone. It is unfortunate, but it's going to provide some of you and other folks throughout the country and the world the parts they need to get their cars back to stock. So let's get it down and start looking at some of that kind of more 1 and 2 year only stuff, or NotchBack specific stuff, such as the rear quarter windows, the louvers. Looks like the trunk springs are working on this NotchBack. So there's a V8 style power steering pump there, I believe. There's a clutch cable in it. There's a pretty specific looking carbureted throttle cable. And if it has a Moroso sticker, we already know that it's a V8 car, right? So it was a V6 converted to an 8. I bought it again with the interior, but it was 2 separate deliveries. The interior came first, and the car came about 6 months later. So these louvers, would like to sell in a set, maybe even a full set with the specific trim and glass. It's original Car-Lite glass. I can see the nameplate down here in the corner. These are very specific trim moldings. The drip rail, they would only fit, as far as I understand, a 79 to 86 coupe. Some of the newer ones are short right here, where that new kind of, oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking about this inner trim piece on the newer cars is short. So this would fit any 79 to 93. Let me take that back again. 79 to 86, piece of trim specific because of the way that the quarter windows and the quarter louver are designed. With the newer windows, the part stops here and the drip rail molding continues then to the front. So it is a specific NotchBack 79 to 86 chrome piece of trim. These will fit any 79 to 86 right away, or even up to 93 if you so desire to put that style trim and louver and window style in there. The cowl panel itself here at the top of the windshield, or bottom of the windshield, top of the cowl, it appears to be straight. I'm sure we've all seen what happens to a hood that flips over, and anytime I can save or salvage one of these flat panels, I do. So this cowl panel itself is going to be made available, but not the cowl basin. There's actually a gaping hole on either side. Let me see if I can show it to you. So a gaping hole inside the cowl panel, and again, if a NotchBack can be saved, we all know that's what it deserves. Not just for the preservation of the car, but you know, with this being so many few parts on it, it's almost like, gee, couldn't you just fix this, that, and the other thing and keep that car on the road? Yes, you could, but you're going to be working all the way from the rear frame section all the way to the front frame section. Almost every piece of floor, doors, quarter panel work. So again, we're basically looking at a parts car here. So if anyone needs some metal, specifically the roof, quarter panel sections, yeah, there's a couple here, but this roof seems to be a common need these days. I've seen people converting convertibles back into notchbacks. So I've got a couple roof sections that are cut so large you could really put it back onto a convertible shell and turn it back into a notchback. So if If anybody needed a specific size roof cut, now would be the time to ask. I don't see any bubbling or commonly... Ooh. The clear coat got me. Ow! It's embedded in my skin. So it comes with about 18 layers of clear coat. Back to the roof, it normally will have some rust, surface rust, even rust where it's seamed in. This one seems to be really solid, so if you needed a specific cut of a notchback roof, now would be the time to ask on this one. And that's what subscribing to the channel gets you. What I'm doing at this time is I'm taking a video as the car is last coming apart and giving first shot to anybody that's watching this channel carefully enough and tells me what to pull, ship, weigh, cut, take video or pictures of. I believe this exact proportioning valve, after tested, is sold. 79, basically 80 to 86 only. I do have others, and I always test them before I ship them. I crack all the lines free and put pressure in the system, make sure it's flowing out of all the ports. Clutch pedal assembly wasn't complete. I, of course, could complete what's left over to make somebody a manual trans pedal assembly. I've got this rear deck shelf available, and I know I've seen some of these notchbacks and convertibles too are rotting out kind of in this area here. So if somebody really needed, we call it a trunk panel tray kind of system, something or other here, I can make that available as well. And I can't believe I've had a 10-minute video with a car that only has about 25 parts. So that's what a 1985 V6 notchback converted to a V8 at Encore getting parted out looks like. If anybody wants me to sign off that this is a legitimate Ford nitrous bottle bracket, I'll put my stamp of approval on that and get it out. Again, trunk springs, notchback specific, available, working. 8.8 with a 373. The original bumper here. If you hang around and watch the channel long enough, we may end up getting to the Raptor, parting that out, and probably the Encore tow truck. But thank you for your time. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and send them down below or email me, sales@EncoreMPW.com, or visit the website. And if you like what you see and don't want to miss out on the next, subscribe to the channel and like the videos so your friends get a chance to be as cool as you. Thanks everyone for your time. Talk to you soon.